Illuminating Wonderland, Under the Big Top, an ABC7 special. And now, Brissa Bradfield.
The circus, a tradition dating back to the 1700s and spanning 4 centuries. A variety of acts entertaining each new generation in wild new ways. But for the Suncoast, those ties run pretty deep. Our very own Nik Wallenda, his wife Erin Dara, and their talented team once again putting on a one-of-a-kind show. Welcome to Wonderland, Illuminate. Our ABC7 crew juggling stories under the big top, speaking to those who illuminate how the magic is created. Brendan Mackey, John Scalzi, Ted Noah, Rob Wells, Mike Modrick, Sophia Vitello, Larry Phillips, and myself. We learned that it takes a whole lot to put on such an elaborate show.
You gotta turn it now. Turn it that way, and it goes along this way, and it opens up that way, okay? Okay, hit it. All the way to the end, all the way. That's enough. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, next one. Roly-poly. Where is it? There it is. You got it, you got it. This is our ground sheet. It can protect the tent over that side more. Let's have the looky-looky. 1, 2, roll. 1, 2, roll. Stretch it like you're making your bed in the morning. Okay, roll right there. Stop, 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 stop. Too much. Pull your sheets. Ready? 1, 2, go. Okay, all to the other side. Okay, guys, we're going to twist it this way around a little bit. 1, 2, pull. Roll. Okay, 1, 2. One more. Corner. See? Look at that. We're going to roll, guys. Roll halfway. Okay, roly-poly. 2, good. Keep going, no stop. Go. Ah, beautiful, look at that.
Wonderful. Well, there is so much that goes into putting on a circus each and every year. And 2 of the men behind putting on the show, especially this year and every year, we have Johnny Rocket and Nik Wallenda. You guys are more known on the stage, but so much goes on behind the scenes that folks have no idea about. We'll start with you, Nik. Just talk a little bit about what you're putting on for this year behind the scenes.
Yeah, so Johnny and I pretty much build everything in the show. So when you see any prop in Wonderland, Johnny or I have put our hands on it. We've thought about it, we've envisioned it, and we go from creation, from the vision that my wife gives us of the show itself, and then we go through those scenes, and then we say, okay, well, we need this sort of prop for this thing. We need this for that. This year in particular, we're bringing in Chinese acrobats. And their equipment is very heavy, it's very large, and to bring it over from China is just not cost effective. So we're building all of their props in addition to everything for Wonderland this year.
And you can hire people to build this, but Johnny, talk about how rewarding it is to be able to do it all yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's a big part of it. I think most people only see the side where we get to perform in the ring, obviously, and that has its own rewards, but making it all happen, that's the true magic behind the scenes, right? And yeah, you could outsource things, but to a certain degree, yes and no. There's certain things that we have to build that if you went to an average fabricator and you try to explain it, they wouldn't understand what diagrams and blueprints and all that stuff.
Idea.
Yeah, you have to kind of personalize it to the type of stuff like he was saying for the Chinese acrobats.
Nik, we talk about how much goes on behind the scenes and how much you put your hands on specifically. Talk about just the significance of this building. I mean, you're spending more time here than you are on stage.
Yeah, that's right. I spend a lot of time, ask my wife, I'm in this shop a lot. That's why we built this on our property, because at least I can go home and have lunch. But yeah, I mean, I'm in here often 16 hours a day just working on stuff. Also upstairs I have a full gym, and I have a training room, and I have an office up there where I can sort of deal with the office work and then run out here and do some grinding or whatever. It's so funny, nowadays we have so many video calls. So I'm often running in the bathroom, washing my face and everything real quick, and then getting on a Zoom, and then coming back out here and working, and it's back and forth. But yeah, I spend a lot of time out here in this building. Again, can't say it enough, it's my passion. This is what I love doing.
Brissa, that was fantastic.
Isn't it so cool to see how much that he and Johnny Rocket both have a piece on really everything that goes on behind the scenes?
I had no idea. It was so complex to put on a show like this. For instance, just look at these costumes. I was taking a look at the stitching on these. Absolutely amazing. How much time and effort would go into making something like this? It's tremendous.
This would look fabulous on you.
Well, I need some industrial Spanx.
I think it fit like a glove. And coming up, two of our local circus giants working together to put on an extraordinary show. How generations of performers are inspiring the future. That's after the break.
For most businesses, competition can be fierce, but in the circus arts here on the Sun Coast, putting on a show is a chance for big names to work together.
Mike Modrick spoke to the local legends in this industry who say they come together because the circus is very much so a family.
Family is family, but in the business of the circus arts, even people you're not related to are family. That connection led to Nik Wallenda's Wonderland. The family tree of the circus in Sarasota starts with John Ringling. It includes legendary circus clown Lou Jacob to daughter Dolly Jacob. Dolly credits her success to her dad.
I always saw him on the sidelines watching with great pride. But he gave me the inspiration to be unique and to reach for the stars.
Dolly and her husband, Pedro Reyes, founded the Circus Arts Conservatory and Sailor Circus, a place where they mentored the next generation of circus, like Nik and Irindira Wallenda.
It was in 1998, and Pedro and Dolly were performing on the same show as us. And I remember as we were there, they talked about this vision that they had of creating what they have now created, which is now a Circus Arts Conservatory. And I remember all of us being very excited about this, creating something for Sarasota that would be worldwide to represent our industry.
I asked Nik for his favorite Pedro story.
So many amazing memories of that time. I remember Pedro dressing like Santa Claus and sitting on top of the tent, waving on Fruitville, just trying to get people's attention so they'd buy tickets. But incredible memories from that. And Pedro's been a mentor of mine my entire life.
Nik credits his wife Irindira with creating the show called Wonderland.
My wife is extremely creative. She's a visionary and had this idea of creating a show for here in Sarasota called Wonderland. And as we discussed that in the local market, we both felt in our hearts that the right thing to do would be to come to Pedro and Dolly and ask them if they'd be interested in partnering with us in this endeavor, out of respect, out of great respect for them.
Irindira agrees. She is a visionary.
I'll think of these grand ideas and I'm like, okay, Nicholas, how are we going to get this done? And he's the one who kind of like takes my dreams and makes them a reality.
And Wonderland became real. Then the real work began.
We're not just creative, but we also have to worry about the financial side of it. We have to worry about selling tickets. It is the financial side. It is the logistical side. It is very overwhelming. Again, another reason why it made sense for us to partner with Circus Arts Conservatory, because they could partner with us, come alongside of us, and sort of help us through a lot of that logistical stuff with the experience they've had locally.
One of their stars is Emma Clark, a graduate of Sailor Circus and the Circus Arts Conservatory. This is Emma's second year in Wonderland. Proud mama, Jennifer Mitchell, who is also executive VP at Circus Arts Conservatory, told me.
And she went on to a professional career as an aerialist, and her first contract was with Nik and Irindira. I know that Dolly often speaks about how she stands on the shoulders of those before her, and my daughter does as well. She will be presenting beautiful aerial artistry on the Star of David in this year's Wonderland.
So the students have become the mentors.
Well, I'm getting goosebumps as you say that. It's an honor to be in the position we're in.
Emma, who has watched me since she was a little baby in the ring, and you could tell that there was something different about her. She's got something in her that is like passion and fire for the circus.
That passion illuminates the Wonderland that is the family of the circus arts. Emma Clark, in her second year in Wonderland, is also mentoring a younger generation of circus performers at the Sailor Circus Academy, inspiring classes like these to continue the legacy. Sophia Vitello is talking with these two phenomenal acts on what it's like working with such talented trailblazers.
Two of the youngest performers in this year's circus extravaganza letting us in on what it's like working with the best of the best under the big top.
For 19-year-old Sailor Circus Academy alum Emma Clark, performing is her life.
I always had this feeling like this is just what I want to do. Like, I started when I was 8 and I graduated when I was 18, and then I got my first contract right after graduation, and I went to Missouri for 2 months.
That's when she performed with the Wallendas for the first time, and they were so impressed with the young star that this year they're putting her 15 feet up in the air for Wonderland Illuminate.
Dream come true.
And they wanted her to pick someone special to join in on the magic.
I was thinking, then I was like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna ask Anna to do it. She has the same passion I do, and I see it.
It's amazing. I'm just so grateful for the opportunity and to be doing it with one of my good friends, Emma Clark, and I'm so excited. I've been in Sailor Circus for 6 years now, and so to get to this point is just very exciting, and it's like my hard work has paid off.
The 16-year-old and her superstar teammate learning a lot from each other.
This is actually a new apparatus for me and Emma both, so it's something new for us to try and experience.
And they want you to play a part too.
It's really important that the audience is engaged and inspired by our performance, because it's a very important part of how we perform.
It's almost the payment I enjoy the most is the audience's feedback to me.
So while you're munching on sweet treats and enjoying the circus spectacular, remember, your smile means a lot to them.
Wow. I just think about the arm strength it takes to do something like that.
And also the mental strength, because I look back at when I was 16 or 19 years old, I couldn't have done that in front of thousands of people.
It's such a confidence booster for the kids, too, at that age, or the young adults. They can go on to do so many more things with that kind of confidence that they have in themselves.
They really can. Yeah, definitely. So as we've been seeing, it takes a lot of work, passion, and drive to put on a successful circus.
And in this day and age, it's so much more than just clowns, animals, and magic tricks.
Yeah, so much more, as we've been seeing really this entire show. And that's the focus of this next piece here, how Nik and Erin Dara are working to change your perception of a circus.
When you hear the word circus, for the average person, many things may come to mind.
They think it's cheesy, like with clowns with rainbow wigs that like honk their red noses, which it's totally not anything like that.
The circus has always been an art and a theater. However, some haven't always seen it that way. That's why Nik and his crew have made it their mission to change your perception when you walk inside this tent.
When you Google search the word circus, words like acrobats, magicians, ventriloquists all pop up. But according to Nik Wallenda, it's missing the main component.
I want people to think art when they see the circus.
A very long time ago, if you attended a circus, you would see sights like this, animals and top hats. And while there are no animals today, the theatrics are still there and always have been. When you enter the Wonderland tent, that's what Nik's wife, Erin Dara, wants people to feel, like you're at a theater.
There is like a storyline. That's why we do have actors come in, and lighting and the music and the costuming and the storyline, and sprinkle circus acts within that.
And changing people's perceptions of a circus has been something the two have always battled with.
There were many times throughout my life, through middle school and high school, where I got in fights with people because I was a circus freak. And I would always defend that, of course, because this is who I am. I am a circus performer. It is in my blood. It is my passion. The industry as a whole is about love. It's about loving one another, accepting one another, not being a freak, not being different.
And Nik says the best way for people to realize that is by exposing the circus to the next generation.
And speaking of exposing them to the next generation, they have fully funded more kids, Title I school kids, coming to the show, multiple shows to see it. And these are kids that maybe wouldn't have a chance to see a circus. Right. And that's how they're trying to bring in the younger generation.
Oh, that's a great idea. You know, show them that it's more than just, you know, the magic tricks and the clowns. These people have real talents and real developed skills.
And this is the push that's been going on for some time. The Circus Arts Conservatory, they put the word arts in there on purpose, because this is an art form as much as anything else. And anybody who would try to make fun of somebody like a Nik Wallenda, have them go up on the high wire.
Have you seen Nik Wallenda? Yeah. Who's going to make fun of him?
You walk over the Grand Canyon or an active volcano and tell me it's not an art or a special skill.
Amazing.
Yeah. And speaking of special skills, still to come, athletes from all over the world showcasing their talents here on the Sun Coast. A look at how one act put in hours of preparation for their appearance in the ring. That's all after the break. Well, as we've been saying, it takes a village to put on a circus, and it all starts with the foundation, or in this case, under the big top. Here is a time lapse of crews working tirelessly to put up the circus tent, the home to Wonderland Illuminate.
And with the outside of the big top ready, now it's time to set up the main stage.
Let's take a look inside.
We are currently in the ring, and this place looks unbelievable right now.
It is. From the second you walk inside, you are just immersed with that circus feeling and the smells, all the food, and just it looks amazing for Christmas. You have to see it to believe it.
Yeah, the people are so excited for all the acts, but there's one act that I caught up with. They're new this year, and the lion dance is going to be something like you've never seen before. I caught up with the two. This year's Circus Under the Big Top has a new act that's looking to become the next main attraction. Jade Wong and Tony Mo worked together as one to wow audiences with their incredible lion dance.
So what we do is specifically Chinese lion dance. It's a spin-off of the traditional version where most of the stunts are performed on the ground. But in the modern times, it's evolved over time, and now we do a lot of stunts on top of poles to make it, a little bit more difficult, more challenging, and it's more of a competitive sport.
During the performance, the two really do become the king of the jungle by mimicking a lion's movements. They're from San Francisco and have worked together for 7 years now. Over that time, they've built a strong foundation of trust.
The main thing is we have to talk to each other, especially when something is off. We like to communicate with the others that we have to try something different.
These are metal poles, and for their performance, they have no mats on the ground to protect them. This is why so much of their time is focused on perfecting their craft to avoid injury.
The risk factor is kind of high since you're up on 5-6 feet. If you fall off, you could get pretty seriously injured. It takes a lot to be able to trust the other person that they'll do your job well, and it takes a lot of training to know that you'll do your job well so that your partner can trust you.
The audience is in for a treat. Even their costume is top-notch. Of course, for the lion dance, you need the lion head. And this headpiece is not cheap. Tony and Jay designed this for over $1,000 and had it shipped in from China. These aren't just two amateurs. They've traveled across the world competing and performing, even winning the Western Lion King title in Malaysia. But despite all of their accomplishments, their time in Sarasota is checking off another one.
I've never been to a circus act, and this is really crazy, amazing time for me because I always watch circus do a screen, right? This is my first time being into it as a circus act and able to perform with them, which is kind of like a dream come true.
Being a part of the circus will hopefully lead them to the success that they have always dreamed of.
We've always kind of imagined having our own show like this if we could build the lion dance and bring other acts in big enough. And now we're one act in someone else's, circus that really did achieve that dream. So I'm really looking to learn a lot from Nik, and then, maybe one day we can host this kind of show ourselves.
Really amazing stuff there, and watching this and thinking about it in my head. How are they performing in those heavy masks, Brendan? And what about the stage?
So with the mask, you would think it's heavy, right? It's this big thing. They let me try it on. It's actually light. But if you think about it, it's because they need to bounce around on those poles. There's two handles there. Right. So very impressive that that's what the lion dance is. And when it comes to the stage, they actually built that from scratch here. Wow. Usually they would ship it in, but here, as they do at the circus, they like to make it the best. So they built it themselves right here. So
crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's right here in Sarasota.
All this effort that they have put in, we are about to see it firsthand. We cannot wait, but we got to get off the stage because they're about to come on. So Brissa, we're going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for Illuminating Wonderland Under the Big Top, an ABC7 special. And you can watch the entire Wonderland Illuminate show at the University Town Center in Sarasota throughout the entire holiday season. And before we leave, we do want to show you a bit of a sneak peek at this spectacular show.